What's up everybody, name code Dustin here, Fantasy Smack Talk. Hope you've been watching the other videos. If this is your first one, we got all of our other videos that are currently posted. Top 150 cheat sheet, go in the forums, ask any questions you'd like. But this video we're going to talk about second base, which is the thinnest position in our opinion of all of the positions. But there's one clear-cut #1 guy, and that is...
Robinson Cano. You're going to have to use probably a top 5 pick in your draft to get
well worth it.
Because he is just that good. But, you know, he has been kind of up and down over the last few years, but solid year last year. You know, hands down number one second baseman this year. Draft with confidence.
All right, in the second tier, the top guy at #2 is Dustin Pedroia. And here's the thing, he started last year pretty terrible. He was really banged up, but his post All-Star break, he had old Dustin Pedroia numbers. You might be able to get him at a little bit of a discounted value.
And he's got a good name.
And he's got a good name. The other two guys in this tier are Hill and KINSLER. You probably either love or hate them because they've been up and down, up and down. So if you draft them the year that they did amazing, you probably love them. If you draft them the year that they did awful, you're probably not drafting them again. So obviously a lot of uncertainty with those two guys.
Alright, let's take a look at tier 3. Personally, in my drafts, if I miss out on Cano, I'm skipping tier 2 and I'm just going to wait and go for tier 3 and go after the first two guys in this tier. KIPNIS and ALTUVE. You know, these guys are young guys, ton of upside. The thing I love about them the most, both of them over 30 stolen bases last year, and they still have the potential of throwing in some decent power, especially KIPNIS, 14 home runs last year. Huge upside there. I think for where they go in the draft, they're solid value for second base position.
All right, looking at the next tier, the first guy I want to highlight is UTLEY. And here's the reason why. We do like UTLEY, but health has always been a factor, and his ADP really does not reflect his value that people are getting. The reason why is that we feel that second base is so shallow, people start to panic, and then they just grab UTLEY because they know it's a name. The other two guys Dustin talked about, they clearly like over him, and sometimes UTLEY's being drafted right around them. And then also want to highlight Neil Walker with the Pirates. He had a pretty solid season last year. You know, 280, 14 home runs. He got a handful of bags. At this late in the draft, if you're waiting for a second baseman, Neil Walker's not a bad guy, as ranked as our #11th overall second baseman.
Tier 5, there's definitely some decent guys here that you can take gambles on late in the draft that could really, you know, outperform for where you're drafting them. First guy, Danny Espinosa. This guy was almost a 2020 guy last year. Nationals should be scoring a lot of runs this year, so he could be in line for another solid year, but you know, only a 250 batting average, so hopefully he can improve on that. And then one of my favorite second base sleepers is Josh Rutledge out there with Colorado. 277 at bats last year, 8 home runs, 7 stolen bases. You double those stats, you know, that's not bad for where he's going to get drafted. He is penciled in as a starting second baseman right now, so obviously, you know, pay attention to spring training stuff, make sure he secures that job, but I do like his upside.
Alright, as we're moving to our last tier, tier 6, going to start with Forsyth out with the Padres. You know, he's not, obviously at this point, you're not going to get numbers that are going to blow you away, but in 315 at-bats, he had 6 home runs, 8 bags, you know, decent. He's obviously going to get more of that with more playing time, plus he had a 273 average, gotta like that. And then we want to highlight Lombardozzi. Here's the reason why. I know 2 second basemen with the Nationals ranking them might sound kind of crazy, but he could play all over the field, and when he did get in, he was very productive. If you're in a league that counts like on base percentage, things like that, he does have a little bit more value.
And they might even move him out into the outfield sometimes. They'll find a way to get him involved. He's too good. So that's our second base tiers. Like Brent was saying at the beginning of the show, check out all our other tiers and rankings, top 150 cheat sheet. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
At Fantasy Advice on Twitter.
That one as well. Second base!